So I had an interesting experience with AI today, in particular ChatGPT, which friends have been telling me that I should integrate into my research process. So I decided to give it a shot today, and I asked it about windows in Roman thermal baths, which is something I'm interested in for work. It gave me some information, which was, I don't know, interesting. But what I'm particularly interested in is the sources. So I asked it for sources, and it spit out a whole list of websites, academic journal papers and journals, books, so much faster than I could have found on my own. It's the sort of speed that would just essentially revolutionize my process. So much faster than I could have found these same papers by Googling or following up in footnotes, that sort of thing. All fine and good until I actually went to check and actually find the papers to read them. So the first one was in the Journal of Roman Archaeology. So I couldn't find it in a quick Google search, so I went to the Journal of Roman Archaeology's page, searched it, nothing with that title or even on that subject, really. Okay, so I found the author's website, where she has a list of all her papers. Nothing on that specific topic or by that specific title. So I asked ChatGPT, and they says, well, there's a chance that it doesn't actually exist and we're mistaken. Essentially, they just made it up, which is basically what happened. So ChatGPT was no good to me there, but maybe that was just a fluke. So there was another paper that looked really useful, and ChatGPT had actually written a synopsis of the paper. Okay? So I went to look it up, and it too does not exist. I couldn't even find the author in any sort of identifiable way. So I asked ChatGPT, I says, so just what about this paper? And they says, oh yeah, that one's made up too. It doesn't actually exist. And I says, so, how can you actually help me in research? And it basically wrote out a list of best practices for how to research, the normal things, check sources, all that kind of stuff. So it was really just interesting. I'm disappointed because I was hoping it would actually be useful, and I feel like I gave it a pretty fair shake. Ask it for information, then ask it for sources. But it makes up most of every source that I checked, it had made up. So maybe I'm utilizing it wrong. Maybe other people have better ways, better methods in which something like ChatGPT, or maybe just using an entirely different AI. But for me personally, in my experience so far, the one time I've tried it, it hasn't really worked, and it kind of raised my hopes significantly that it could be an incredible tool, and then dashed them by just being complete BS. So yeah, that's my experience personally with using AI for historical research.